Okay, so I'm hoping everybody can see my screen now. Okay, that might be network. That might be network. Well, there's not much I can do, but let's see. It might get clearer. So like I was saying, once you have claimed your stuff, you log into your account. So I've logged into my own account. This is my own account. Okay, so we'll come back to this. Then let me open DigitalOcean. Open DigitalOcean.
You're using DigitalOcean.
No. I don't have this thing on AWS.
Credit.
Yeah.
Please, sorry to help. This DigitalOcean has been getting my card. Please, who knows what could go on? Like,
Use GTB. Try GTB card. Or UBA, yes. In short, most MasterCards, the Visa cards may not work, but try MasterCards, GTB, UBA, Zenith, Wema, Access.
but wait, if I try MasterCard on another person, will it work?
As long as it's the card, as long as that person has not maxed their $20 limit, it will work. Then you can pay the person their money back. I think the yeah,
I have four of the platforms, and all of them are my
yeah, because the money that they charge the card is been varying for so many people. When I did mine, they charged me $13, $13.2. Some people they charge them $5, some they charge them $7, some say, I can't say, oh, this is exactly how much you'll be charged. I don't know why it's like that.
maybe the reverse it is $1, so it takes about a week or so. For me, maybe because I do a lot of
I have like an actual dollar card from a DOM account because I have a DOM account and I have a dollar card, but they charge me 13 points, which is strange because I use it.
Use your DOM account. Use your DOM account.
Yes, I use my DOM account.
Okay, that's why they will charge. If you were in Nigeria, they will charge you lesser. So when I went to
Yeah,
when I went to
their father left brick.
when I went to register for my ASO certification, the pricing for the certification was cheaper in Nigeria than
Okay.
that of other places. So that's why it is.
No, that's
Give us
okay. I think I understand it, Sha, because I've seen quite some platforms too like that where you want to do something, they will charge you if they once they notice you're from Nigeria, they will charge you less. So yeah. So so the first thing, let's connect our domain to DigitalOcean. I don't understand why my neighbors are screaming. So go to networking to connect your domain to DigitalOcean. Go to networking, then click on domains. Just make sure that you've already claimed this thing. So click on domains, then click on. So in here you enter the domain. So mine is patrickazikian.me. I hope you can see this thing clearly. So this is mine, patrickazikian.me. The project. So you click on add domain. Now when you click on that domain, it creates what they call DNS records. So it creates a lot of domain name server records. Yes, Claudine, we already went past it a little, but just to quickly recap for those who just joined, go to the student pack. This is the link. Let me paste it in Slack. Claim the free domain name. So go to the link. I've sent it to Slack. Then you just scroll down, just look for this part where it says name chip. Interestingly, I tried to claim the one from Microsoft Azure, but they didn't give me. They kept telling me my email is not verified, blah 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 blah. So I just left it. I just abandoned it and moved on. That's why, if not, I would have used Azure too to also show you how to do it. But then for Namecheap, click on get access. So when you click on this, it will take you to this page. When you click on it, it's going to take you to the Namecheap website, to this page. Then you input the name that you want to use, the domain name you want to use. Be careful when you're typing into. If you type rubbish, that's how they will register it, and you don't Jones. So be careful when you're don't make typographical errors, so that you don't. If not, you probably have to go and buy, actually buy a domain name. Although if you want to buy a domain name, maybe you don't like what you have here, there are other places where you can buy. For example, you can go to qservers.net. I'm not marketing for anybody. This is just what I use. So there are so many Nigerian hosting companies. You can just go there and register. Click on register. Then you search for a domain name. So you can go for the one that is .com.ng. So you see, can you see it? Oh, this is clear. You can go for something like this, .com.ng. You can see it's 1,100 naira, and to renew it every year, that's 1 year from when you buy it, is 1,200 naira. So it's cheap. So it's not like you're going to spend too much on it. So there are so many cheap domain names that you can choose from, and the cheapest is .com.ng. So back to here. So you enter the name, then you click on find. When you click on find, it's going to show you the results. Let me just say Claudine 123, not me. So you click on find. Okay, this is the one I was doing before. I was using this as an example. Then this is the domain name, and you say free. You can see it says for a limited time .me domains are free for students. So you click on add. It will add it to the cart. Then you complete the order. Since you may not have an account on Namecheap, it will direct you to create an account. So you create an account, and probably just use the same email that you used for, use the same email that you used for GitHub. So when you click on complete order, you click on these GitHub pages. So this is where you will use the email. Use the same email. Don't use a different. If you use a different email, it will not allow you to claim it. So use the same email that you used for GitHub, so that it will be able to claim the order. Then you click on finish, and that's it. So once you click on finish,
How many domain names do you have access to?
you can only claim one for free, according to what they said. 1 year, that's it. 1 year domain name registration. According to the terms and conditions, there's only one that you can claim as a student. And you can see, okay, from the previous page, you will have seen it where it said I've already claimed. You can see we have successfully verified your path. Use it to blah 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 blah. But I don't know, you can try claim as many as you want, but I don't know, might be only one. So once you have claimed it, you'll be into your account like this. So you can click on domain lists. It will show the domain names on the list. Then you click on the one that you have claimed, and you just see something similar to what you are looking at here right now. Let me zoom in again. Yeah, so you see something similar to what you're seeing right now. And then there's something called SSL. You can claim that as well. So if you go back to here, you click on use your offer code. So you click on this, it's going to come to this site. Then if you are not seeing this directly, what you should click on is here, security, SSL certificates. So when you click on this, choose 1 year, because it's 1 year. If you choose more than 1 year, they will charge you for it. So choose 1 year, then the one of positive SSL, click on buy now. So when you click on buy now, it will now show like this. To show like this. So this code here is what you copy. I've already used this, so don't bother trying to use it again. It will not work for you. I've already claimed the coupon code. So you copy this. It's unique for everybody. You copy this, then you go to promo code, paste it, and I click on apply. So this money here will become 0. Then you can now confirm the order. So once it's confirmed, it will be tied to your account. So you'll be able to use it in this domain name. So where you will even see it now, if I go to, this is the domain name that I've claimed for myself. If I go to products, sorry, let me open the chat. If I go to product, sorry, if I go to SSL certificates here, SSL certificates here. So I think this is it. This is the one I claimed recently. You can see it's having this new tag. So if I click on activate, then it loads here. We'll generate a couple of stuff. So you follow this guide on how to generate a CSR, paste it here, and then put in that domain name that you claimed, and just follow the steps to install the SSL certificate. And SSL is what gives you this HTTPS you're looking at here. This HTTPS, that is what it gives you. So in case you're wondering what you're going to use it for. So I'll go away from this for now. All right. So close this, close this, close this, close this. All right. So back to DigitalOcean. Like I said, it creates some records here. Yeah, so this is fine. We'll still come back to this page again. But once it has created this record, you see for this, under the A records, this is A, there are different tabs. There are different tabs. Actually, these are all of the records it has created presently. And this is like the basics that you need. So you, for each of these, just click on this copy. This ns1.digitalocean.com, click on copy. Then go to your Namecheap account for the domain name. On this first tab, domain, just scroll down, then click on custom DNS and paste it in there. NS1, NS2, and NS3. You paste, copy and paste. I'll advise that you click on the copy button as opposed to trying to highlight this and copy. Then you now go and make mistakes. Just click on the copy button and then paste it in here. Now once you have pasted the 3 of them, you will see a button that will allow you to save. Once you save, it takes about 48 hours thereabouts for this name change to take effect. So they call it propagation. So what it means, what this thing basically is doing is, think of it this way: when you buy a new SIM, or no, you lost your SIM card, you now go to MTN office to get a new SIM card. When they issue the SIM card, it doesn't start working instantly. They will tell you that, okay, it's going to start working in 3 hours time. That's just the same way this propagation is. So you need to be careful when you are doing this, so that you just do it once and for all. Because the problem with this is, when you do it the first time, if you have made mistakes, maybe it's like an hour later, you now discover, you made mistake. By the time you change it, you are delaying the propagation again, because the one you have done before has not taken effect. It's on the road. You are now calling it that it should come back. Then you give it something else again to do, and then it will start traveling again. So you are delaying that effect. The reason why you must be careful. And anytime you change it, anytime you change these name servers, your domain name will most likely go down. Like, it will not be accessible anymore for that period of time. So even this domain name now, as I changed mine yesterday, so mine will work. So for example, if I copy this, Okay, so mine is not working. Okay, yeah, the reason mine will not work is because I have disconnected it from the droplet. I had a droplet before, so I disconnected it. But anytime you change this, it sort of switches off the domain name and then it will come back again. So it takes time, but it doesn't take more than 48 hours for it to be. Sometimes it might be visible within like 6-8 hours. Like the domain name will start working properly. If you do it immediately you buy the domain, there's a high chance that within 30 minutes it will start working. That this name servers will take effect for this domain name. That's if you buy this domain and then you now go to DigitalOcean, add it here, and then copy these name servers and put it in the custom DNS. There's a high chance that within 15, 20, 30 minutes it starts working, so you can start to even use the domain name almost instantly. Yeah, so enough banter on that. Back to this guy. Sorry, I'm moving a bit fast. I'm just trying not to drag this too long so that we don't stay here till 9 until tomorrow morning. There's another one too called name.com. You can also claim this. They're also giving free domain names. Their own is .live. The one they're giving is .live. So you can use this as well if you want to. I claimed in both of them, so I can use any one that I want at any time. Now back here, let's go and create our droplets. So we'll go to droplets, then create droplets. Now for this, you might be tempted to go for the cheapest one there. No, don't do that, and I'll explain why. Well, first of all, don't choose the American zones. It's too far, except depending on your location anyway. You can choose something that is within Europe, like Amsterdam, London, Frankfurt. Frankfurt is in Germany, so you can choose it. Don't go and choose Bangalore. Bangalore is in India. You will see how slow it will be. Like it will be ridiculously slow because Bangalore is too far away from you. Unless you are in India or you are in an area around India, then it will be fine. So for us that are in Africa, the regions that are closer to us are European regions like Amsterdam, London, Frankfurt. Anything that is in Europe or UK is closer to Africa, especially West Africa to be precise. If there was South African region here now, and there are people from South Africa and all the southern parts of Africa can use South African region so that it will be fast for them. Then those within the US area and all of that can choose regions that are US related, so to speak. So for this, I can choose anyone. You can see the message here. Avoid any potential latency by selecting a region closest to you. So thank God you can see that. I didn't even know that message was there. So let me choose Amsterdam. The droplet plan. So based on some of these ones, the droplets you will be able to use would vary. So you can choose Amsterdam. You can choose Amsterdam. The droplet plan, blah, blah, blah. We pick the best size. What best size? Don't come and play with fire. Okay, so choose Amsterdam or Germany or something, or London. Then okay, let me just choose London. So I choose London. On the OS marketplace, pick Debian, then version 11, that's already selected. Then on the droplet type, pick basic. Let me see what's in general purpose. No, this is too expensive. $63 a month. Well, if you have money, you can pick it. So go to basic. Well, this is where I wanted to explain. Then go to regular. Now you might be tempted to come and choose, oh nice, so this is not available. In some regions this is available, so you might be tempted to go and pick 512 MB RAM. please don't do that. The reason is that MySQL uses almost 300 400 MB of memory. If you do that, then it means that your server is going to be very slow. By the time you install MySQL, it will become ridiculously, you might not even be able to SSH into it. It will be locking you out. So don't use it. Use something that is a minimum of 1 gig. And from what we have seen, this is okay. $6 a month, it's okay for us to use. So pick that. Then in the SSH key, use SSH key instead of password. It's easier to use. It's more secure rather to use SSH key. Let me open my terminal. Okay, so use SSH key. You already know how to generate SSH keys. That one is no different. Just run in your terminal SSH. You can use your terminal to generate an SSH key, copy it, and then for Windows users, you may want to use a vagrant machine. So like SSH into a vagrant machine on your Windows system to generate an SSH key, then copy it, click on new SSH, paste the key here, give it a name and save. I'm sure there's a way to actually generate SSH keys on Windows directly. You can do that, but you might be tempted to use, you may want, okay, there's even a guide there. See, follow these instructions to create add SSH keys on Linux, Mac, and Windows. So you can follow it. Windows users without OpenSSH can install PuTTY. So yeah,
I use PuTTY.
You
can use this other one, WSL.
WSL, exactly. So you can use WSL or you can use PuTTY to generate an SSH key, paste it, and save. So once you have done that, just select the key. I already have mine, so I'm selecting it. You can click on enable monitoring. It's free. You can see it is free. Ignore this other two, you don't need them. Enable IPv6, add initialization scripts. This is not compulsory, but let's see what's there. So this is almost like doing something like Ansible here, but I won't go into this. This is like excessive for this session, so we'll skip this one. You don't need IPv6 presently, so leave this. Then for quantity of droplets, you only need 1. For the host name, so I would say, because I've already gotten my domain name here, so in the host name I may want to use something like server.patrick.me. So you might want to use something like maybe node.myserver. That's your domain, my domain name.me, whatever it is, domain name that you have, even if you bought, whether it's .com.ng, put it. Essentially, your host name should be a fully qualified domain name, and it's best to also use a subdomain. So you see this beginning part is a subdomain, so that's the reason why I would use server.patrickazikien.me. This can be, it can be anything, whatever you want to use is up to you. So put the host name, and then that's it. So click on create droplets, and then it's create the droplets in a few seconds. So we're still going to go back to this guy. So this host name now that I've created, I'm still going to add it in the networking part, but I want this to create first so that I can choose the I think I should have actually returned. Okay, yeah, so it has. So I'll copy this IP address. Let's go to networking. There's something I should have done first. So what we can do to fix it, let's go back. I'll delete this. I think that's why it created only 3 records. So I'll say Patrick azikien.me, add domain. Let's see if it does. Okay, that didn't change. But anyway, I'll put my host name here. Aha, sorry, one thing you need to put. First of all, this A record. So you put at, then choose the server that we've just created. You can change this TTL. So TTL is called time to live. That's how long will this record last before the DNS refreshes itself again. So in plain terms, how long will it take for your domain name registrar to check that, oh, this record is still valid? If it's not valid, oh yeah, look for the new record. So you might be tempted to put something like 1 second. That is too low. Industry standards states that you should use between 1800 seconds and 86,400. That's 24 hours. 86,400 is 24 hours if my math is correct. 86,400 to hours. Yeah, that's 24 hours. So I'm correct. That's 24 hours. So 1800 s to hours, it should be half an hour. That's 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is fine. So I will change this to 1800 and click on create record. You can see that I use at, or you can just type the actual domain name, patrickazikien.me. You type it here and then choose this server and then set the TTL. So this is done. This A record is compulsory. Don't forget to add it, please. Make sure that you add an A record there. The A record makes the domain start to point to this server, this droplet that we've created. Now for the host name, remember the host name that we created? I did mine server.patrickazikien.me. So I would say server. You can see it has completed it somehow. So I'll say server, choose the machine. I'll set this again to 1800 and click on create record. There are so many resources online where you can use to learn about DNS records and how they work. So I'm not going to dwell on it in this, so we can move fast. It's almost 10 o'clock. So this is out of the way. Then back to droplets. So I can open my droplet now. Okay, so this is fine. Then to SSH, I don't need to use my terminal here again on my own system. It has a built-in terminal already, so I'll just use it instead. So click on console. So it will open up this window. All right, so let me zoom in. I hope this is clear enough. I'm sure this is quite big. So the first thing you want to do is to update the operating system. So I'll run apt update. Okay, so this is going to move very fast, so it's not going to be slow. I mean, when it comes to downloading things, it's not going to be slow like when you're running Vagrant on your machine itself. You'll be relying on all this useless MTN network. And glue apt upgrade. So yes, so this is going on. There are some things there are some prerequisites we're going to go into as well. Let me find a way to note it down for you. So while that is happening, let me show you some of the things that we'll do. We'll install, set server host name, install the lamp stack. We'll install the lamp stack, and the lamp stack is Apache LAMP is actually Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So that's what we call a LAMP stack. So we'll do that. Then we'll also do yeah, before we get to installing the LAMP stack, after we set the host name, we'll set the hosts file. So we'll set this one, then we'll install git, install lamp. What's the next one again? What else? Anyone know is there anything missing? Yes, it's recorded, Martins. I'm recording it. Let me just check again. Yes, it's recording. 31 minutes into the recording. Okay, oh, sorry. All right, so yeah, if there's any other thing, we'll do it. So we install these guys and configure them as we go on. All right. Composer, yes. Composer, thank you. Install Composer. UFW. Oops. So we'll install UFW. All right, so we'll do all of this ugly stuff. All right, back to our DigitalOcean thingy. So it has brought up this prompt. Just select, so you use your arrow keys. Mouse does not work in this kind of environment, so you use your arrow keys on your keyboard and select install the package maintenance version. So I'll select that one. I'll just press enter, so it will complete it. So this should be done in no time. Curl, yes. Shola, thank you. Curl, yes. It's very important. Install curl. I'm sure Wiget is already installed, so we don't need to do that. Installation finished, no error. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, apt install curl. Okay, so curl is already there. I'm sure we already have Wiget. Instead of running install, I should be able to just do Wiget v whatever. Okay, so Wiget is already there, sure. All right. So install call, set the server host name. So let's set the host name. So host name CTL. You can say I'm not really using sudo because it's the root user, which is fine, no problems here. Host name CTL set. Yep, another one. Set time zone. Let's set the time zone. So let's set the host name first. So set host name. I remember the host name I created, server dot. Cannot go make mistake. patrickazikian.me. So that's set. So if you run host name CTL, bang, it's there. There's some other ones too you can set, so let me show you quickly. So the same host name set host name CTL, set host name, this. You now space transient. Okay, then the last one, just remove all of this Then I can now do something like this. Patrick's, you see the quote, you can see how I'm putting the quote. Patrick's server, something like this. You can put your name, whatever, if you want to give it your business name, whatever you want to do, you can put it. So you close the quotes and then you say pretty. So let me now show you what it looks like. I'm sure some of you must have seen this before, but if you haven't, so you see, this is our static host name. This is our pretty host name. So where you will see something like this pretty host name, if for example you are doing FTP or somehow you are connecting to the server from a particular device or something, this pretty host name will show up. So if you are doing FTP, for example, you will actually see this host name show up. So that was just some tips. So we're done with this. Let's set the time zone. Time, date, CTL, set time zone. I'm in Lagos, wherever you are, set it. So that's fine. Set the hosts file. We're going to set this host name inside the hosts file. So you do nano that /etc/hosts with s, hosts. So this has come out, and then okay, it's okay, no, it's not there yet. So you come just after this local hosts, you're going to use the IP address of this server together with this, the exact same way this one is written. The only difference is this IP should be the IP of this. This is our DigitalOcean server. So let me get the IP address. Oops. Okay, so copy and back to here, then paste it, and then let me just copy this. Just copy it like this. Copy, paste. So that's fine. So I'll save and exit. That one is set out of the way. But yeah, waiting remain. Yeah, we don't do these ones like this. Let's do firewall. Apt. Let me just clear this guy. Clear. So apt install UFW. Okay. UFW app lists. Okay. So the ones we need to allow, at least for now, is we'll allow OpenSSH, we'll allow SSH, we'll allow www full. If you do only secure, it means that only HTTPS will work. If you do this, then HTTPS will not work. So it's better to do the full version. So UFW allow SSH, UFW allow open SSH, UFW allow, see the quotes, www full. So I think that's okay for now. I don't think we need anything else. So UFW enable, then say yes. Okay, so that's active. That's fine. So now let's go to here. So I'll open a quick guide. DigitalOcean has wonderful guides on how to install things like Apache and all of those things. So it's an underrated documentation section that they have. Very, very underrated. So go to tutorials. Sorry, how do I get there? Here, you click on support. It will open this page. Then click on tutorials. I hope that didn't sound awkward in your ears. So on that tutorial, don't mind me, I beg. Install lamp on Debian 11. There we go. All right, so this is fine. Yeah, so sorry, that noise. Sorry. Get it out of the way. All right. So some of you might be wondering, I'm seeing MariaDB, I'm seeing MySQL. What's the difference? They are similar. There's just slight difference in their syntax. That's the code syntax, the query syntax. MariaDB and MySQL are just slightly different, but they do the same thing. And in fact, MariaDB is a better version of MySQL. So you might be tempted to use MariaDB. I'm not sure if it's a bad thing, but you know, according to what we have in the mini project task, they said we should use MySQL, so we're using MySQL. So we will not install MariaDB, we will install MySQL, but the installation process is kind of like similar, and some of the things like how to create the database and all of that, the processes are kind of the same. All right, so swiftly moving on. First thing is Apache. Let's install Apache. So come here, apt install Apache. Kilode. Package is missing. Sorry, Apache 2. So yes. Okay. All right. So that's done. Back to the guide. So I've done all of these ones already. Okay, let's see our domain name. patrickaziken.me. There we go. So you see it is live. Let me see with HTTPS. Did I activate? Okay, so I've not activated the SSL. That's the reason why it's not going to show yet. All right, so we can do that. You can actually use either you use the SSL here, or we can use Let's Encrypt. So we can use, but I think we can actually just use Let's Encrypt. There's a guide on how to do that, but for now we'll be skipping SSLs. So back to where were we? This is the guide, yeah. So MariaDB. Okay, let's look for the one for MySQL. I think I have it on Cloud Booklet. So there's another link. If you don't have access to these links, just let me know. I'll drop it in Slack. I think I've dropped them like a few times. So to install, we've gone past all of this stage. So install MySQL. All right, so you can click on this download page so that we can get the latest version, because this one here is 8.22 and the latest one is 8.23. So it's not compulsory you do this. You can just use what is here already and update it later. It's fine, anyone works. Anyway, okay, in fact, let's just use this one so that we don't confuse some people. So let's use this one. So I'll paste it. Just be mindful when you're copying and pasting stuff. So run it, that's fine. And then back here, so sudo apt install. I'll just copy this again. I actually don't need the sudo, so I can just copy from here because I'm using the root user, so the sudo is actually not required. Paste, run. Okay, so it pops this up. Please, what's we get really? Okay, so we get Daramola, wget rather is a download manager. It's a command line download manager. So think of internet download manager, free download manager, all of that stuff. That's what wget is. Wget. Why do I keep saying wget? Wget is wget and curl. They do the same similar tasks. They use similar tasks, but curl is faster than wget. So yeah, that's just the long and short of it. Okay, so this is fine. So I'll just go to this OK and click and enter. Then a second time. So what is this? Download is performed on sandbox as roots as file. Couldn't be accessed by user. Okay, so it wants me to add sudo. Oh yeah, since you want me to add sudo now, oh yeah, I will add the sudo. Selecting is already the next version. Okay, so it's actually done. So how was it saying all this rubbish? It has done it already. So yeah, so that's out of the way. Next, yeah, probably just do everything as sudo then. The parts that this parts that is saying sudo, probably just do it as sudo. Apt updates, okay. Apt updates. 4 packages can be upgraded, okay. Apt upgrade. Sometimes you might not see an upgrade option, so you will not see any package to upgrade. So let's install, copy, back here, paste, and run it. Yes. All right, so root password. Yeah, this one you can use a complex password. I would say form the habit of using strong passwords for this, okay? Because now as a cloud engineer, you cannot set your root password as root. Somebody will just sit down somewhere and hack the entire system. But for the sake of this whole, just to keep things simple, I'll just use root like that, since I'm going to delete the droplet anyway. Then root again. So here to just press enter. For this, I'll select use legacy authentication method. So I'll highlight it and press enter. If you select use strong password, it means you have to enter a strong password, and you know what strong passwords are. Using symbols and uppercase, lowercase, numbers, all of that stuff, right? So this is going on. Was there Fun Friday today? I don't even know. I don't know whether that was Fun Friday. I was actually busy somewhere. Okay, so this is almost done. Okay, so that is out of the way. What's next? Okay, so let's check the status of our MySQL. Let's be sure that everything is well, so that we know where we'll start fighting. Yep, so all is well. Oh yeah, thank God for God. So now let's secure our MySQL. So copy, On Windows, that config side, you will press tab before enter. Okay. Yeah, so guys, Daramola just said something. Okay, no fun Friday today. Okay, thank you, Teslim. All right, so we're here. So it's asking me for the root password that I configured earlier. So I used the root, so I'll just say root. Yeah, now this validate password component, you can say yes if you want. Now, if you say yes, you are going to have to choose the strength. So you see here, look at the guide. It says if you press yes, you have to choose the strength of this thing. They have low, medium, and strong. If you use low, then you should be able to type passwords without using symbols and all of that. If you use medium, you must use at least one symbol, lowercase and uppercase and number. If you use strong, and it must be a minimum of 8 characters. If you use strong, then I think, I'm not very sure, I think the minimum number of characters is 12, and then it must contain uppercase, lowercase, symbols, and all those weird stuff. So the problem with this is, if you choose to install this, you must follow these policies. If not, nothing will work. You will struggle with it, and you will not be able to create, when you want to create databases, it's also going to affect the kind of passwords that you use there. So although in real life, in the real world, your company that you work for will obviously force you to use this. They will want you to use a policy. They might even tell you select strong, that you must use strong. So I'm just bringing it to your notice. But for now, me, I'll skip it. I'll say no. Then change the password for root. No, I'm not interested. Remove anonymous users. Yes. Disallow root login. Yes. Remove test database. Yes. Reload privileges. Yes. Okay, so this is done. Back to here. So I've installed MySQL. So now let's install PHP 8.1. So the Laravel project actually requires a minimum version of PHP 8.0. So if you install 7.4, you will not be able to run the project, or it will run and start misbehaving, and some components will not load properly. So just install 8.1. Currently, the latest version is 8.1.3 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So let's copy the commands. Let's see, what do they have on this? Okay, so we've gone past all of this. So here they're installing PHP as well. So you see this guide, this one on DigitalOcean, if you follow this, these are what it's going to do is it will attempt to install PHP 7.4. You can see they didn't specify, so it will install PHP 7.4 with the corresponding modules. So let's use the one on this cloud booklet. I think here, yeah, let's use the one on cloud booklet. So I'll copy this. These are two different commands, so be careful there. So I'll paste it. Okay, so that is done. Next one, copy this. I'm using it with the sudo just to avoid any problems. So just use it with the sudo like that. Then run it. Okay. Then add the PPA. Please be careful when you are copying, especially from websites. So because you can copy now, and the team will go and copy one JavaScript code from somewhere, or one kind advert code like that, and just go and run it on your server. Server gone. Okay, so this is fine. And as you are running the commands, just always check that there's no error. Just be checking the responses, just to be sure that there's no error in what you have done. If not, you might be just be running code, then you just discover at some point something will stop working. Your screen just became clearer. Hey, sorry. Don't worry, I'm currently recording this thing. So I started recording from the beginning, so I'll post it on Slack. Paste. Okay, apt update here. Then this upgrade, apt upgrade. I think Glow is just misbehaving this night. Claudine, are you using Airtel? Yes, okay. So it might actually be Airtel. If there's anybody that is seeing blurry screen, it might actually be Airtel. I'm using Glow, and for those who are probably using MTN to see this session, you may not have that issue. I think it's Airtel, because my Airtel has been bad actually since morning. I think since weather just became somehow. All right, then this is the actual installation. So copy this. Yes, I'm using OBS to record.
I think that's why.
No, I'm not using OBS to stream. I'm only recording. I'm just recording my computer screen, so it's not doing anything on the internet. Can you share the website links? Definitely. Sure. I can share it. Sure. One sec. Let me just run this first. Okay. So let me share. So while that is working, let me share the links. So copy this one for cloud booklets. And okay, let me share it on Slack. Install Apache, MySQL, and PHP 8.1 on Debian. Okay, so let me share the one for. Let me leave this one for DigitalOcean, because some people might make the mistake of installing MariaDB. But you can always refer to it, sure, if you want to. So back to this. Okay, still working. Almost done. Okay, all right, so that's done. Where were we? Back to here. So we can check our PHP version. PHPV. Yep, 8.1.11. Okay, 8.1.11. My memory is outdated. All right, configure PHP. I think we can actually do this. So let me just explain what's happening here. PHP has a configuration file that you can use to set how much memory a PHP file should consume. That's a PHP script should consume. So let me use this as example. So this, for example, this upload max file size 32M means 32 megabytes. Anywhere you see M, something with a number like this and M, it means it's in megabytes. If you see G, it's in gigabytes. If you see K, then it's in kilobytes. So this just means that if somebody tries to upload something to maybe your application that you have deployed to the server, if the file exceeds, even if there is no validation on the front end form, once the file hits the server, if it exceeds this limit, it will bounce back, it will reject it. That's what this just means. Post max size means, you see, when so these two, you see this post max and upload max file size, they work hand in hand. Your upload max file size must not be more than your post max size, and your post max size must not be more than your memory limit. Just have that at the back of your mind, so don't go and start increasing these values anyhow. And remember that your server, for example, the server we're using, like mine, is 1 gig, so I cannot come here and go and set memory limits to 2 gig. It's not going to work. Instead, what will just happen is, if someone does something now, the PHP will attempt to go more than 1 gig and it will lock up the server. So don't specify, since my server is 1 gig, it will be unwise to go and set this as 1 gig. Instead, I can set this as 512 or 256. So set it to half, depending on the scenario. Let the memory limit be like half or quarter, depending on how much performance you need from that application, because the more robust an application is, the more memory it will require. Then the post max size, post max and memory limit can be the same. It's up to you, but usually you would want to set your post max to be just slightly smaller. So since this is 256, I can set this to 128. Then the upload max size, I can also set it to 128 or 64 megabytes, or depending on whatever it is limits that I want to impose. So too much talking, copy this, and let's set our PHP config. So let's just search. So keep scrolling. I'm scrolling down. So because this is on the server, an easy way to do this, can you see I'm using Nano? So if I press Ctrl W, Jesus Christ, oh wow, I don't close them. I press Ctrl W. Ctrl W actually means to close on my console. Yeah, that's a nonsense nightmare. So let me just log back in. What do I now do? Oh, I think I can use Ctrl Shift W. Okay, I'm not going to Ctrl W anything again.
There should be keyboard shortcuts there. Was like on the
yeah,
one of the side, you write there, you already have like stored shortcuts.
Okay. Yeah, it might be. I beg, I don't want press.
I'm not very familiar with the
use I don't know, but use F6 first.
Wait,
I don't know. That's what I use.
Check those 3 lines. Press that 3 lines on the far right corner. It should be something like a keyboard sign. I'm not sure.
Oh, like using the browser keyboard.
Yes. So just allow you to press Ctrl
instead. Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. That makes sense. Okay.
I don't know why this one is.
Yeah. Let me try F6 like she said. Ooh, yeah, nice. F6 works. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Whoever that was, that sounded like Claudine or so. So yeah, I'm looking for upload max file size, something like that. Okay, nice. Thank you for, I don't learn that one today. So I'll just set this to 64. I think I'm okay with that. Then F6 again. I'm looking for posts underscore max. So I'm just setting the values based on what I need. I'll use 128. F6 memory underscore limits. I know most of it because I do this very often, so I know most of those things already. That's why I'm not going back and forth. 256. This is something I also like to set this to 5,000 or 10,000 maximum input variables. Then I uncomment it. So just delete that, but it's not compulsory, you don't have to do it. Then the max input time and max execution time. I usually set this, the max input time, I set it to about I think last time I used 150 on one of my clients' applications. I used 150. Then execution time, I set this to 300. So execution time is how long should a PHP script run before the server stops it from running. The max input time is how long should a PHP script feed, or should the user feed a PHP script before it cuts it off. So the reason we are setting these limits are important is that you don't want your PHP, for example, if you have a PHP script that maybe the job is to create users in an application. You don't want a situation where that script just continues running for hours. That server will become unusable. You want to be able to cut it off after a specific period of time. So don't set this value to be too high and don't set it to be too low. Because if this is too low, if I set this to maybe 30, it means that if somebody was doing something like uploading a list of users to an application and the number of users in that list is maybe 5,000 users, it's definitely going to take more than 30 seconds for it to finish, which means that if that thing starts uploading, it might upload like maybe 20 and then this thing will just cut off. It will stop the script from running. So you just find yourself repeating the same thing over and over again, which is a problem. So yeah, enough on that. What else do we need to set? Okay, so these guys are using 3K, but I use 5K. It's fine. I usually don't go more than 10,000 anyway. Like anytime I'm doing WordPress websites, I set like 10K, minimum of 5K, maximum of 10K, 10,000 on this. You can see these guys are using 600 for max execution time, and input time they're using 1,000. Well, I think this is too much, but it depends on the application. So let me save that. Let me save this and exit. Okay, so now we can configure Apache. So we're disabling the default Apache page. If you disable it, once you disable it, that default page will not show up again. Configuration, that default configuration will not take effect anymore. So now our actual application directory, let's create it. So I'll copy this, then go to, where are you now? Yeah, paste, but I'm changing this, no. So let's do this first. Let's see what's in there. So we have this. So what we'll do is we'll clone with Git directly into this folder and then rename it, instead of creating that folder and doing all of those rubbish. Because what they are doing here in this is they are just trying to create like a sample. They're showing you how to create a sample config. So you follow all this stuff. So they're just showing you a sample, but we want to do the actual application. So let's just do the actual stuff. Laravel, I think I've had that. Yeah, there you go. We haven't installed Composer. Let's install Composer, please. Quickly. So I'll go back to my roots. It's my home directory. Let's go and install. Am I right? Yes, Composer. Yes. So let's install it. So get composer.org. So click on download. Then just copy each line one after the other. don't omit anything. Understand? So that you know, because you will have installation problems if you omit things. Just make sure that you have installed PHP. If not, you will not be able to install Composer. I see that there's like one kind order of things. So copy this. Okay, so installer verified. That's fine. Copy this. Paste. Okay, everything is correct. All right. Then copy this. Okay. Then last but not the least, we're going to copy this as well. The reason we're doing this is we want to be able to run Composer from anywhere. So it's best to move Composer into the global bin folder so that you can run Composer commands from anywhere on that machine. There's also an instruction on how to install it globally. So this is, it's just the same this thing anyway. So I've copied it, then run it. So that is fine. So now we can run Composer from any directory. So, okay, what does Composer do? Yeah, so Laravel relies on Composer to run. Some of the packages in Laravel, maybe virtually everything, uses Composer to run. So that's the reason why we have to install it. So it's like a prerequisite for Laravel applications. For ordinary PHP applications, Composer is not exactly needed. I've not seen any PHP application, any native PHP app. We're told not to use Sail. Yeah, we're not using Sail. We're not using Sail. This is not, Composer is not Sail. They're two different things. Because for you to use Sail, you have to install Docker. So we're done with Composer. So now let's clone our repo. So copy this, and then I would cd to that var www directory. So I'll cd into here. Then this is where I will clone it to. So I'll say git clone, and then paste the URL. We haven't installed git. Jesus. What replaced Sail in this our setup? Sail is Sail is like it's like a package. So think of it as an addition to Composer. Sail is an addition. It has some extra stuff that is doing for Laravel API management, but it's not necessary to do this particular task. That's why they said don't use Sail. So there's nothing we're using to replace Sail. We're just not using it at all. Hope that helps. So let's install git. I think it's sudo apt-get install git. Remember, git for Linux. Git for Linux. Everything they go well so far. Something we haven't done. That's what we'll forget. Create Laravel, create database for our Laravel app, add front end to Laravel routes. Yeah, so let's install apt-get install git. So correct. Apt-get get install Jesus Christ. Git. You can see how fast this thing is installing stuff, because it's not using your internet connection to do anything. It's using the connection of the server itself to run. So that's why things like this are fast. Create Laravel conf file. Yes, we'll do that. Oh yeah, I get what you mean. Yes, we'll do that shortly. So git clone. I'm still in the var www directory. That's where I want to use. So git clone and this. So it's cloning. It has finished cloning. So now I want to rename this. So I will say move. So move this. I'm still inside the directory. So move this and change it to Patrick as you can. So I'll do this. So if I do lsal, okay, and if I cd into this lsal, so everything here is fine so far. So let me just step back one directory. All right, so we also need to set the permissions of this particular folder. We need to set the permissions. So say chown, then r for recursive, then www-data www-data. So we're setting the owner to this and the group to this. That's for this particular folder. This user is an Apache user, so it has to be set to the Apache user. If not, Apache will not be able to write or do anything in this directory. Okay, so this, then let me just copy the full path actually. Yep. Okay, then let's do the, what's that one again? chmod r7 is this 775? Yeah, for folders 775. Then there's a folder, this storage folder that is inside here. We also need to set it. So we'll do cd into the directory. Then we'll just run that same command again, but with a different slight permission. This, you don't have to cd, you can just type the full path. So this one should be 755, if I remember correctly. 755. So this should be /storage. We'll still, I'm very sure we're still going to run into issue with this permission something. For some strange reason, it didn't really work well, but if anyone has an idea, just let us know, so we'll do it. All right, so let's do lsal. So you see, everything is now owned by www-data, and our permissions are okay, right? Oh, I see. So it's not writable. It's not writable. I think files, let me see, file permission, permissions, Laravel, Apache file permissions for Laravel. So we have done this. It is fine. We don't need this, right? I don't think we need any of this stuff. I don't think we need any. Aha, this is what I was looking for. These two directories. So copy this. First of all, let me copy this, send it to the Slack group. So I'll copy this. Yeah, okay, we're already inside the folder, so this path will work as it is. It should work. Yeah. Okay. We're kind of repeating what we've already done, especially for this, but we didn't do for this before. Okay, so then this one, I think this is the right permissions. Okay, so LSL. All right, so so storage is now writable. And Bootstrap, this is Bootstrap, is also writable. So I think our permissions are intact, so we shouldn't run into any issues there. All right, so just to bring myself back on track, so we've done this. What is next? So let's create the configuration file. So back to our Apache tutorial. All right, so we're here, we've done this part, we've also done this part, right? So this is what we are supposed to do now. Am I correct? Yes, I'm correct. So we're supposed to create the virtual hosts file. So let's do that. So copy, paste, and then this would be patrick.conf. Okay, so next let's put in our thingy. So we'll copy this, there's one more thing we need to do. Install mod rewrite, add htaccess for Laravel to root folder of Laravel. So we'll copy this, paste, and then let's change. Yeah, move the env. Yes, we'll do that. Yes, thank you. Let me just put it here. Create.env file. Migrate DB. That's migrate the database. Okay, so all of this one is not really this thing. I'll just put something there, sure. I'll call it maybe support at, or I'll just say contact patrick@ken.me. So I'll just copy this, delete this. Okay, the domain name is dot paste. Okay, document roots. I can get rid of this guy. So it's in www, so this should be Patrick as you can. Right, same thing with here. This should be Patrick as you can. Then what else? Yep, that's it for now. So we'll save this. In case you guys notice if I've missed anything, just call my attention. Okay, so that is out of the way. Let's create the env file. So we'll move our env. Actually, I like to copy instead. That's env dot example. Move it to .env, and then we can edit. Okay, not yet. Let's create our database. We've not created our database, so we don't have our credential. Okay, I can just env. I know what to use this, so I'll just set it once and for all. So app environment. So I can set this. I can actually no. Let me leave it as local. Let me leave it as local. So the difference is there's local, there's production. So when you set it as production, you will see that when you want to do things like composer, update, seeding a database, it will alert you and tell you that look, this application, this Laravel app is now in production mode. Are you sure you want to do this? It's just trying to alert you. If you set it to local, then it will assume that it's not yet live. It's just a production. It's just a local development environment where you are still playing around with things and trying to fix things. So it will allow you to do anything that you want anyhow. Then for this, I'll change it to Patrick as you can .me. App port. I'll just leave it as it. This should actually be 80 if I'm not mistaken, but I'll leave it as it is. Don't worry, I'll just leave it as it is. DB connection, MySQL. We're using MySQL. PGSQL is PostgreSQL, so it's a different type of SQL engine. Hosts, we're setting to local hosts. Ports, we're setting it to 3306. DB name, I'll just use the same Patrick as you can. Username, I'll set it to be the same. Under normal circumstances, this password too should be a complex password. So I'll just set it like this. I'll just leave it for now like this. This is fine. If you are using if you want to set up email configuration, this is where you can set it up, set up the SMTP. So just calling it to your attention. If you're using AWS with some of their modules, this is where you set some of those things they use. Pusher is for push notifications. Then this is Sail. If you're using Sail, obviously for this we're not using Sail, so we'll leave all those ones. Now let's save and get out of here. Okay. So we've configured the env. So let's create our database. This is the option to install Let's Encrypt. I think we can actually just do this. Should we do the SSL? Let's do SSL. Should we? or should we just skip it and move on to other things first, then maybe come back to it? We'll leave it and come back to it. Let's set up the app first. Let's even be sure that the app is working, then we'll come back to it. We'll come back to SSL. So just remind me. db. Where you did? Okay, let's go to this guy, DigitalOcean. They have a guide on how to create the DB. We've not set the configuration yet, so oops, no. This is MariaDB. Where is this stuff now? Okay, so create data. Yeah, I know we have to do MySQL roots. Database MySQL. I just want to be sure of the syntax. So MySQL u roots. Yeah, you gave me jail. U roots and then password. Okay, so that's there. What do you want? Okay, so guys, just give me like some seconds and quickly give this man water. Okay, so back to here. All right, root password is root for me. So this is create database, and then the database name is Patrick, as you can. Hey, Jesus, I forgot to put the closing semicolon. Okay, then create user. If I'm correct, this should be Patrick, as you can, at local hosts identified by Patrick, as you can. So let's see, I think I got that correct. Blah 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 blah. So I just jump everything. So create user this at this identified by this and then close here. I tried creating a bash script for this setup. No nonsense. Nice. It's not exactly easy, and I'm not sure bash scripts would you'd struggle a little, sure. I also tried using Ansible, and in short, the wahala, I suffered. I actually suffered, and it didn't work out as I wanted, but I will attempt it again. Okay.
I don't know, though. I don't even know say class yourself. I want to come across this link. I try it now.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my guy. No verse. How many this thing I run? Okay. Anyway, so this is here. So I've created a user Then it's now to grant a privilege. I think grant all privileges on this to this and this. So I think it's the same, grant all on this to this. Okay, so sorry, this is what I want, so I'll just copy this, paste. But now I am going to change this. I think it should be grant all on, yeah, grant all on away. Wahala. Grant all on the database name, Patrick, as you can. This second star here just means all the tables inside this database name. If I put a specific table, it means that I only want the user to be able to do anything. The user will only be able to do something on that specific table inside this particular database. Then if I put star dot star, it means the user should be able to touch any database on the server as a whole. Only the root user actually should be able to do all of that stuff. So I don't think anybody wants to be granting database users access to everything on the system. If not, security risk with that too. I had no deal. And then I identified by this the password. Okay, so I think my syntax is correct. Away. Do I actually? Okay. Okay. So I don't think I have to actually enter this. Sorry, one sec. Okay. I don't think I need to put that identified by. She is not MariaDB. This thing went to install like this. Okay. Okay. Local host. Oh, it's MySQL 8, so it's possible that it doesn't need it. I think MySQL 6 is the one that would request it. Patrick Ezekiel. Example database grant all Patrick Ezekiel. Okay, so yeah, that's out of the way. That's done. Cool. Then flush privileges. So flush privileges. Right. Flush privileges, and yeah, if we want to know if this person can log in, so we can exit MySQL, and then let's log in again as that person. My SQL user is Patrick as you can, and request for the password.
Please, sorry. Hope this class is being recorded.
Yes, it is, sir. So
Because I
yes, we are logged in.
I'll start from the beginning. Thank you.
Yeah, so yes, we're logged in, so that user is fine. So exit. Okay, we're done with our database. So let's see, what have we've done our configuration, right? We've done database, we've done our virtual host configuration, we've done database. Let's install mod rewrites. Apps install, I think it's apt install Apache 2 rewrite. Install mod rewrite. Okay, it will end Apache 2 enable module rewrite. So if it's installed, it will enable it. Sorry, let's remove this jargons I wrote here. Okay, so that's fine. Let's restart Apache 2. I don't think we've restarted it since we did that config save. So it's restarted. So rewrite is there. Install rewrite. So get rid of this. htaccess. So let's add htaccess. So nano.htaccess. Then I have this. I saved this some months back, a couple months ago, when I was deploying a Laravel app somewhere. So I saved it for the rainy day, and it has been coming in handy. Here we go. This. So if you need, let me paste it in the Slack. .htaccess. Okay, so I've pasted it in Slack in case you need it. So I'll paste it here too. So this is here. Now I'm going to remove this HTTPS part because we don't have SSL. So if you leave the rewrite condition for HTTPS, what will happen is if you go to your domain name, it will attempt to redirect to a HTTPS version. And if you don't have a valid SSL, you're going to run into security issue. It will tell you that this thing is not secure. It shall show some interesting errors that you'll be fighting with. So for now, I'm going to exclude it. So this is okay, right? Save, get out of there. Another one I want to edit is nano the slash web slash routes routes .php. Is it this? No, it's not. Let me cross check the path. Okay, we haven't yeah, ls, yeah. Might be this now. Why this thing they do me like say ls, yeah, nano web.php. That is one they meant to be. So just remove the comment here and this one here. This is the reason why you may have tried it and you'll be getting a 404 page when you visit the Laravel app. It's because the person who created the project in GitHub intentionally commented out that file. I even tried to make a contribution and she rejected the pull request. She said it's intentional, so she doesn't plan on adding front end to it. It's strictly for API. So if any of you has done it before and you got 404, don't be scared. We are on the right track. Right, so this is okay. We've added HT access, we've added front end. We've created our env file. We have not migrated the DB. So let's do our DB migration. So our DB migration is PHP artisan migrate seed. PHP artisan migrate seed. Sorry, CD. I need to go out of this route folder. Oh, create project. PHP artisan. Sorry, why am I making this mistake? Composer install. Composer install. Yes, continue. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's just see everything. There's no unzip. Installing unzip or 7zip may remediate them. Let's just install it. Apps install unzip. Are you satisfied now? Can we rest now? PHP artisan let me see if I run composer updates, check if there's any updates. Yep, so we'll run composer updates, which we have done. Okay. All right, so PHP artisan create project. Sorry, is it artisan or composer create projects? I think it's composer create projects. Composer create projects. Yes, sorry, that's the wrong command. Composer. Why good do they look this thing sometimes? If not, just make nonsense mistake. Composer create project. Yes, I think composer create project actually just does most of this. It does the composer install or update. Okay, so key has been set. Okay, migrate. So PHP and so this one should work now. Migrate. Okay, seeding DB. So it does the migration, which is this, and then it seeds. If you did only migrate, it will only run this. I think if you do migrate, it does this and does seed. If there was an error and you want to drop the database and reseed, you do PHP artisan migrate :fresh, just something like this. You do something like this. What this command will do is it will drop the whole database. That's it will delete all the content in the database and add it again. So be careful when running this, especially in a production environment. May not go delete all the users with the Facebook. I no do. In case you get job for Facebook or you get job for Google, you can't go delete everybody Gmail accounts. Well, key generates when you run create projects does the key generate. So what happened is, in this particular project, the person who created this Laravel project already created a script that does the key generate function. Not true. I beg no good day. You will just type your sack letter by yourself and submit it. Print them for paper, put spiral bind them, submit them to HR. We'll drop production DB for Google. I feel la. How many million users? Okay, so this is done. Sure me say I could just come off for, I'll tell them say I dey come, so I dey go for lunch. Now from there I disappear. Right, so any other thing to run here? No. So let's check our, where's our domain name? So here. Sorry, why am I still seeing this? That's interesting. Why am I still seeing this page? I shouldn't be seeing this page. Let me use aha. I am still seeing this page. Oh, sorry. We skipped something. We didn't enable the configuration. Where is it again? We didn't enable our applications config, so it doesn't know, Apache doesn't know anything about it. Where is it? This part. Where is it again? Yeah, this. We didn't do this part, so Apache has no idea what is going on there. Don't worry, we recorded it. Happiness. Don't worry, no fear. A2N site Patrick Azikian. Okay, let me quickly do something. Sudo Apache config. Is it Apache CTL config tests? Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So do you know what this command does? What it does is that anytime you enable a new config, if you run this command, it will check that everything is fine. If everything is not fine, it will tell you that there's an error in the file and you should go and fix it. The reason why it's good to run this command is if there's an error in your config file and you just go ahead and reload Apache, it can stop Apache from working. Apache will shut down because it will not be able to reload is like saying you are restarting your computer. So by the time you restart, Apache will want to load all the config and then find errors and it will just shut down. So it can happen. So it's a good idea to test the config first. If it says syntax okay, then you are fine. Then you can now go and reload Apache. So let's reload Apache. Okay, let's even check the status of Apache. Systemctl status. Okay, so it's running fine, no issues. Let's check MySQL. MySQL is running fine, no issues. Thank God for God. Oh, yeah. Moment of truth. Okay, bon. This is interesting. This is interesting. Okay. I think this is what we need to do. Document roots. Document roots. Let me quickly check something. I think that's the reason it's not loading. That's the reason it's still loading the default page. Okay, so it's here. This looks fine. I don't see any issues here. It looks fine. Interesting. Let's see. What step did we miss? We did this. Then we did this. Okay, let's see. Let's be sure that this is strange. Patrick as can dot conf. So everything here looks fine. Or was it the config? Did we enable the wrong thing? See? It should be .conf. Can you see? We enabled the wrong thing. So I'm going to disable the rubbish I did before. So this will be A2 this site. See why it could make person they do. So I've disabled that. So now let's reload Apache. Let me check Apache ctl config test. Okay, syntax okay. So let's reload. Now let's check our site again. Okay. Let me clear the cookies. That's a very strange one. Hold on. One sec. I hope this is not the issue. It might be because of this. This is an interesting situation. We disabled the defaults. So why is it still loading? Yeah, we disabled the default, so this is strange. We did this before. We did this. So let me just do it again then. See, already disabled, so this was done before. Okay, let me oh, eh. Yeah, we enabled the virtual host. See where we enabled it. Where is it again? Sites reference again. Already enabled. Or what is this rubbish even you're doing safe? Is it disabling it? Let it not be that the thing is actually disabling it. Can you imagine this idiot disabling everything? Okay. Okay, so this is fine. This is looking fine. Let's check again.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I just put this topic and it's showing me that.
it's showing you Laravel.
Yes,
Oh, you put my URL.
yes.
So that means it's my browser cache. That means it's my browser cache. So let me do this. I for say this thing won't make me run mad. Something I've done like.
It was not showing Laravel until the last reload you did.
Okay, I see. Okay. That makes sense. So guys, so you can see how to do this. So let's do the last one that I said we would do, the SSL. Let's do the SSL. Before I do the SSL, let me do one thing first. God no go shame person. Backups. Backup. I have to pay for backup. Like, you're not serious. Get out. Snapshots, uncle. Am I paying for snapshots? Power down your droplet before the injection. Snapshot cost is based on space used and charged at this 6 cents per gigabyte per month. And go on now. Let me just do it. Oh yeah. Power. Turn off. You can see what I try to warn people about. If you turn off the droplet, they will still charge you. If you know you're not using any droplet, just delete it. Destroy the droplet completely. If you just power it off and leave it there, they will charge you. You just say your $200 turn to 5 cents in 1 month. Okay, so this is off. So I'll go to snapshots. The reason I'm doing this is that let's encrypt. If you're not careful, that's in there. It gets coin. So I'll save this as Laravel app deployed before SSL. I'll do something like this. Take snapshot. So they said it takes like a minute. Okay, so it's creating snapshots. So with a snapshot, what then happens is if I do something and for some strange reason, maybe a lot of things go wrong and I'm finding it difficult to fix, I can just roll back to the snapshot. So a snapshot is an exact replica of a server at that specific time. That's why they said you should turn it off. That you should turn it off before you take the snapshot. Because if it's on, people will still be doing something and then it will take snapshots. So some information will be missing, something like that. So you say this may take more than an hour. I'm sorry, I thought I saw something like more than less than a minute or so. Ha! We don't try. 2 hours 22 minutes, but at least our app is deployed. At least you can see that works. Okay, this is almost done. This is almost done. I actually want to show you how to do that SSL so that you understand how it works. If you use the let's encrypt SSL, you don't need that positive SSL again. The one from Namecheap, you wouldn't need that one again. Just to let you know. Teslim, see how we did this one now under 2 hours something. Unlike the other day that we're here from 9 till the following morning. Okay, so this is done, and then now I can power it back on. Turn on. We are on. I say that the thing just give us unnecessary headache. And guys, interestingly, because we're not aware of the 404, that 404 page is normal for this particular Laravel app, we were struggling. Like, why is this thing showing 404? What kind of rubbish is this? We kept battling with it for hours on end. So okay, this guy is gone, so I can close it. So I'll just reopen this. So let's install Let's Encrypt. So what Let's Encrypt does is it generates an SSL certificate. I can actually do this guy like this. This should work. Yeah. So yeah. So Let's Encrypt generates an SSL certificate for domain names. Okay. And yeah, so this is our domain name. So this is the process to install. So we need snapd. It uses snapd package manager. So apt install snapd. So let me just put this one here. I hope it's still very visible. Okay. So you can automatically generate certificates for every domain. Snap install core. Will be fast. 50 Mbps per second. Nigeria 0.2 kilobytes per second. Nonsense. Snap refresh core. Okay, so next, snap install classic certbot. Sorry. God is good. What is nonsense networks here? then was doing ln -s, I beg, to avoid stories that touch. Just be mindful of what you're copying. Okay, then we copy this. Let me just use paste it here first. So let me just change redirect. So this is email. So I'll just use contact at patrickaziken.me. Then the domain name. For the email, let me go to here. Will they give me no, they won't give me option to create an email. I think there's a way create email for domain CLI. I beg. I'm not in the mood. I beg. Get out. Do these guys have anything of that nature? Networking. I'm not sure they have. I don't think they have anything for email service. Okay. Okay, I think you need to buy private email. Yeah, you need to buy this for you to be able to use it. Or if you're using a service like Jisoo, Google Workspace, or Microsoft 365. So I'll skip that one for now. I just continue first. So I think this is fine. Copy this guy, paste, and run. Would you be willing once blah 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 blah? Yes. Requesting a certificate for this and this. Yay! I don't make mistake. Oh, see. So that's why it failed. I beg, please, guys, be careful there. Yeah, Tesla. Something else is missing. www. Oh, okay. The record doesn't exist. So I need to create this. I need to create as an A record and as a triple A record, those two inside here. So networking, domains, remember where we created the records. So this will be www. So it's missing, so it can't find it, so it will not do anything. Why is this thing so large? Jesus. Okay, so that one is created. Do I need to do a triple A record? Okay, there's no IPv6, so it will not work. So, but that other one has worked. Let's try again. That record should have taken effect, if I'm not mistaken. Yay! You successfully enabled this and this and this. Okay, so now if you come to this, if you now enable HTTPS. If you had HTTPS, it should work. Hey, there we go. There we go. Now, remember in that htaccess file, we removed the rewrite condition for HTTPS. So if somebody just enters patrickazikien.me, it will go to the HTTP version instead of the HTTPS. So what we'll just do now is let's add that rewrite condition back. So we'll do nano, I think we know where the file is already. So nano var www patrickazikien/.htaccess. So let's just copy. Let me just copy it and paste it back to avoid typo errors. Copy. Okay, it's just these two actually I need. So let me just copy these two. I just copy this. Okay, then bam 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 bam. So another space, then paste it. What? Oh, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, catch me. Yeah, catch me. So save and exit. Then yeah, that solves it. So let me use let me open another browser. So I'll enter the domain name without putting HTTPS. Let's see. patrickazikien.me. See, it automatically redirected to HTTPS. So guys, I hope you have been able to learn from this. Any questions? Any questions? Easily deployed. Easy. Yeah, we encountered one or two issues, but at least it wasn't something that will give us nightmares. So if you want to do something like so for example, if you want to have, you know that you can have multiple domains on the same server. So the same way we set up this patrickazikien.me and we created the host and all of that, you will do that. You will just do the same thing. Okay, recap the domain part. What part exactly? Okay, is it how to create the domain name? Is that what you're referring to? This place? Okay, so for the sake of happiness as well, go to this GitHub student kit pack if you have claimed your student pack. So you go to the virtual kit event. I posted this link. I think I posted it in the chat. Let me just repost it again. Okay, so you go here, then go to this name chip. Okay, then click on this get access, this first one. Click on it. When you click on it, it will open up the Namecheap website. Network done the run now. It will open up this Namecheap website. Now I've already claimed it, so I'm not sure it will allow me to do it again, but let me even try. So let's try to claim the domain, a free domain name. Remember, if you claim a domain, there's nothing like I made a mistake, I want to correct it. Once it's registered. There's no correction, you can't correct it. So if you make a typographical error, well, you Jones. So please be careful when you're typing the name. So let's claim, let me claim something like my Laravel. Laravel app.me. So I'll say find. So it's here. So I say add. complete order, then choose these GitHub pages. Okay, then the email you use for your student pack, for your GitHub account, put it there, then click on finish. See, it will not allow me claim. So the person that was asking before if you can claim multiple, sorry, you can't claim multiple, so please be careful. So you can use it, but once you have claimed it, once it has registered, because it will ask you to create a Namecheap account. Now you will log in. Once you are there in your Namecheap account, you click on domain lists. So in your domain list, it will list all the domains you have. Then you click on the one that you see the name that you just claimed. So you click on it, and then it will open up a page that is similar like this. Okay, now you go to under name servers, you click here and you select custom DNS. Then at first it will have 2 drop downs, so you can actually add as many, you understand. So you put the one for you go to DigitalOcean. So go to DigitalOcean, back to DigitalOcean, go to create the droplet. I will say create the droplet first. Okay, so create the droplet first. Once you have done that, then remember in the host name when creating the droplet, put a host name, something like this. Let it be something dot your domain name. Then go to networking, click on domains. To add more than one domain, you can submit a ticket request. That's not a problem. So anyway, you will see the option here to add a new domain. So you just add this domain. You can see how I added the domain. This is my domain name that I claimed. So if I open this, if you add it, it will now open this page. Let me zoom out one. It's like this thing is too big. I'm kind of suffering. So it will open like this. Then you might see only these 3 records for now. You might see only these 3 once you add the domain name. So copy this ns1.digitalocean.com, copy it, or whatever you see there as the ns. There are different types of records. So this is a name server. So copy it, go back to Namecheap and paste in as many name servers as DigitalOcean has given you, or whether it's AWS, whatever one you are using, paste the name servers there. Then save. You will see the option to save, like a green mark. You click on it, it will save. Once it is saved, it will take effect. I would, like I mentioned earlier, maybe before you claim the domain name, before you go and claim this domain name, first of all, create the droplet in DigitalOcean. Okay, create the droplet, then claim the domain name, so that you will now put these records once and for all, and then the thing will take effect almost immediately. It will start working. If not, if you change it much later, there's a chance that you will not be able to access the domain instantly. It may take about 48 hours. That's 2 days. So just putting it as a side note for you. Create the droplet first, claim the domain name, then add the DNS, the name server records, and save. So by the time you save it, even before you finish setting up the droplets, installing Apache and all of that, the domain will have kicked in and it will be accessible, so that you can now continue with the rest of the setup. Then there are other records. You can see that when we wanted to do let's encrypt, it was failing because these 2 records, especially this one and this one, was missing. So you need to click on, you select A like this, then in this box, if you want to add if you want to add this one, you can just put at. You put at, it automatically knows you're trying to add the root domain name. So put at, choose the droplet, set a time of 1800. I think that's the absolute least you should use. Don't try to go lower, please, because the lower you go, the more it hits the server and the more load it will add to the server. It will overload the server. So 18 is okay. Then click on create record. So it will create this record. Then same thing. Then for this one, instead of at, you put www. So you can see that it has automatically shown the preview of what it will look like. Same thing, choose the droplet and then set the TTL, that's time to live, and click on create record. Then the host name, remember you set the host name in the droplet. So add the host name. So here it will just be server or whatever name that you use, whether it's node, whether it's ikeja dot happiness.ob. It's all up to you. Whatever you have used as the host name, put it there. As an A record, you can see they are all A records and they are pointing to the IP address. So put it here like this, choose the node, set the TTL, and click on create record, so that every other thing you do afterwards, it will be working fine. By the time you get to things like doing email for email is MX record. Email uses MX records. So for example, can you see this example? This is an example if you are using Google Suite and you want to use Google Suite as an email provider, as your SMTP provider and MX record holder. You use this. This is the example. You will have to you have to register with Google Workspace to use it, and it costs I think about $6 per month for the least pricing plan. I don't think that's necessary for you to do right now. Don't go into that. Maybe at a later time I can actually show you how to install what they call a control panel. With a control panel, you can actually, you see the way web hosting companies operate. So a hosting company, an example is Namecheap is an example of a hosting company. AWS is an example. DigitalOcean is an example. So you see the way you are able to add all of these things from here, from the interface. That is the way a control panel works. You'll be able to add your clients or customers will be able to do these things by themselves like this from here, from an interface like this. Once you have installed it, that's the way a hosting company is able to control. So for example, if you want to host a website, just for those who are not familiar with what I'm saying, if you want to host a website now, I want a website called teslim.com. And what I'm doing is maybe I do MC, maybe I'm an MC or I'm a photographer. So I've contacted the web designer. The web designer will now come to a hosting company and buy a hosting plan. They'll give that web designer a control panel access. So it's with that control panel he can now deploy my website to the server, and you'll be able to do things like creating email accounts, setting up so many things can be done from that control panel essentially without writing code or using command line. So that's what a control panel does. Even this Laravel app that was deployed like this, if we wanted to, we could have easily installed a control panel. We can actually install a control panel inside DigitalOcean droplets, and then from the control panel we can deploy the Laravel app, and you'll be using GUI tools. That one doesn't require using command line, although if you want to do things like that composer all those composer commands, you might actually have to use command line. There's no way around it. I don't think there's any other way around it. So yeah, I hope my explanation has helped, Daramola. Okay, so for the cloning into var www and www.html, so let me show you. So what Daramola is asking is this: that what's the difference between deploying here and deploying here? So according to Apache, it appears that deploying here is more secure than deploying here. When you consider security, it appears that deploying here is more secure. If you looked at that Apache default page, they wrote something about it at the bottom, towards the bottom of the page. So when it comes to the functionality of the application, there's no much difference or relevance there. But when you look at the security aspects, I think if I understood what is there correctly, this path is more secure than this path. Some people use var, I think in older versions of Apache, they use something like this. www public. We use something like this. So it keeps changing over time. So yeah, can we do this entire thing without DigitalOcean, the servers, DNS, and all of that? No. The reason is because old school actually said that we must use a cloud provider and we should use a domain or subdomain. So no, you cannot avoid it. Either you use DigitalOcean, or you use the AWS, or you use Azure, or you use Linode. There are a number of cloud providers. I think some people were able to get Linode $200 credits. I don't even think they use student packets. I think they were just able to register and get free server to use. Is using old school demo compulsion? No, it's not compulsion. I think I know what you're talking. So this, right, the project, it is not compulsion. You can use any name. We didn't specify that we must use a particular name. It's them, thief. They want me to come and be mounting rubbish, so they'll be charging me unnecessary money. Anything else? Can I go and watch film now? Play Xbox? Any questions? Anybody? No. Okay. So I'm going to upload this video now, right?
Hello.
Right after. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask if there's any difference between creating database on the terminal and creating it right on the, like on the cloud. I mean, like.
Okay. I think I have an idea what you're. I think I have an idea what you're talking about. So, for this, so this, I think this is using the assumption that you are creating an app here, and then you are creating a cluster. So this is actually more advanced than what we have done presently. There's not much. Okay, there's some difference in the sense that, as you can see from what they said here, daily backups, logs, and blah 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 blah. Because what you do is, if you create a cluster, so if I click on create a cluster now, it will create like a database. I can specify what type of engine I want to use. It will give me credentials. You can see I can choose MySQL, Redis, Postgres, MongoDB. Now once I create it, you can see that it also comes with its own space and RAM. dedicated to it. So once I create this, the credentials is what I will specify inside that env file. So instead of me to go and be setting up another MySQL inside a droplet, this is what I will use as my database. I can create many databases here and use this. It allows for, you know, the complexity of managing the database. You can easily remove your hands from it. Understand? You do less. I think from what I'm seeing, it appears that this will also allow you to create database users from the UI here without having to write SQL queries. But then there's another thing you can do. So in the droplet, so there's something called php my admin. So you can follow this guide, install php my admin on Debian 11. So what php my admin does, let me show you an example. Let me show you a picture. So this is what php my admin looks like. Open this. Okay, so this is a guide. This is the guide I wanted to show you. I'll send it to Slack. So this is it. So this is something that runs when you install it. It now looks like this in your UI. So you can actually access this php my admin from your browser, either using the IP address or your domain name / php my admin, something like that. So when you access it, you can actually just create databases, create users from here, from the front end. You can also still write SQL queries here too. It will still work. So this is just another way of doing it if you don't want to use the command line. So it's all up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. So you can follow this guide. Let me copy it and send it to the Slack. If you want to manage databases from the web, you can use php my admin. So yeah, anything else? Okay, so in the absence of nothing else, say thank you for joining this session, and hopefully you should be able to try this on your own. Just watch the video carefully again. I'm going to upload it this night, so it should be uploaded and done maybe in like 30 minutes, an hour or so. Hopefully it's not too long.
Please, before you go, there's this other video on your YouTube channel, right? What did you even say? Deploy Laravel app on
Vagrant.
Using Vagrant. So what's the difference with it and what we've done now?
Okay, so when this project came out, people were panicking about DigitalOcean and the AWS and all of that, and they didn't understand what to do. So I recommended that you can try it with Vagrant first, just for you to practice and keep practicing until you get it right. Then when you have been able to achieve the same results with Vagrant, then you can now go and try it on DigitalOcean, because you don't want to be stuck where you are doing trial and error with DigitalOcean. And okay, now see, this was created 2 hours ago. They will bill me for that 2 hours. So imagine if I don't know how to do it yet, and I'm battling with this 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. They'll just be billing me. It's not their business whether the app works or not. Their own is, you created a droplet, we will charge you for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So even this one now, well, I don't think I'm going to destroy this just yet, because they said I don't know how they said we should submit it. I think they are going to request for whatever domain name we have used so that they can view it. So I guess, or maybe we have to push it to GitHub. I don't know. I'm not sure I saw that part of the exercise. So yeah. Anything else? Okay, so in the absence of this, I bid you guys a happy night, and if you run into any issues, please don't hesitate to ask questions and all of that. Have a good night, everyone. See ya. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.